Bangladesh is a beautiful country bordering the Bay of Bengal. Its lush green hills and fertile lands nourish its population. However, despite the country's agricultural fertility, 22% of children in rural Bangladesh suffer from zinc deficiencies. Zinc is an essential micronutrient that plays a key role in cell growth and differentiation of immune cells. Many studies have found that deficiencies also lead to reduced height, accounting for age. And in 2011, 41% of children under 5 years of age in Bangladesh suffered from stunting. But why care about stunting? Why do anything about it? In children, stunting can lead to an increased susceptibility to illnesses and also a higher risk of child mortality. Stunting can also be detrimental to cognitive, language, and motor development. This negatively impacts school performance and a child's learning capacity. When the stunted child becomes an adult, studies have shown that there is an association with the decrease in work capacity and productivity, having negative consequences on the financial future of the individual. In Bangladesh, the under 5 mortality rate is 40.9 deaths per 1,000 live births. Compare this to 7 deaths per 1,000 live births in the United States. So how do we address this?
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has approved funding for a randomized controlled trial to determine the causal relationship between dietary zinc supplementation and stunting and mortality in children. Children between 2 and 5 years of age will be randomized into one of 3 groups. The control group will receive unfortified flour, which naturally contains about 1.5 milligrams of zinc per 100 grams of flour. The 2 treatment groups will receive fortified flour containing either 4 or 7 milligrams of zinc per serving. The flour will be used to make chapatis, a staple dish in Bangladesh. We predict about 300 children in rural Trishul Upazila to be enrolled. Measurements will be taken at enrollment to determine baseline height and serum zinc levels. Employed community health workers will conduct follow-up visits every 3 months after enrollment for 3 years. At each follow-up, health workers will collect data on height, serum zinc levels, and any recent deaths, including corresponding causes. A dietary survey will be used to determine how often the children ate the chapati and how much.
The whole wheat chapati flour will be distributed at clinics upon enrollment and by community health workers during each follow-up visit. Conveniently, the flour is readily available in Bangladesh. Fortification of chapati flour with zinc is estimated to cost about $1 to $3 per metric ton. For a family of 4, 30 kilograms of fortified flour costs about $14 per month. Based on these prices, and the use of existing infrastructure for distribution and education, the intervention is relatively inexpensive and practical. Demonstrations by community health workers and instructional videos will teach the families how to properly prepare.
Our proposed intervention will provide more information about the biological determinants of stunting and child mortality. Since zinc fortification of chapati has not been extensively studied, our intervention will help to find the dosage that would be most beneficial for stunted children. We recognize that some families may develop a dependency on the free flour. However, we plan to work with the families during and after the intervention in order to help them off of this dependency. After analyzing the data, we will recommend the optimum level of zinc fortification to the Bangladesh Ministry of Health. We will hopefully be able to work with the Bangladeshi government to turn this recommendation into a national policy. With this policy, we hope that future Bangladeshi children will be happier, smarter, healthier, and taller.
Created using Powtoon.